still.
I hear you. I hear you. You sound great.
Am I good now?
Something you did. We don't know what you did.
Good.
It's better. Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can't see you that great. Welcome to the Rad Dudecast. My name is Brendan. You're with Greg. You're with Anthony, our producer Dan.
You're screaming.
Ladies and
Why are you screaming?
You don't need to scream at Chingy.
I'm trying to introduce our guest here. Ladies and gentlemen, you know him from his smash hits right
Can
there.
y'all see me?
Yeah, we can see you. We can see you. You look good, man.
Cool. All right, cool. Got it. Yep.
You know him from his smash hits right there, Holiday Inn, so many other chart toppers. He's got a killer single, All Cap, coming out Friday, June 26th. Check that out. And a new EP, Crown Jewel, out later this summer. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Rad Dudecast, the one and only Chingy. We're so excited you're here. Thank you for joining us, man.
And he's gone again.
No one's going to believe we have Chingy.
There's proof, man.
This is
Video evidence.
Yeah, people could see, they could hear. This happened.
welcome our frozen screen picture of Chingy.
I'm sorry you're having technical difficulties. We're just not linking up, but I definitely want to plug those again. All Cap is the single. Friday, June 26th. Check that out. And the new EP, Crown Jewel, coming out later this summer. Can you still hear us, Chingy? We're kind of breaking up with you a little bit here.
I don't think Howard Stern has these issues. You know,
All the greats do. Greg.
We got to start mailing people MacBook Pros, you know, and like that's how rich we got to get. We just go here, $1 million. Don't mail it back. We don't care.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing about Chingy was such a, and I, you know, he's dealing with some technical issues right now, but he was such a a part of my you know, before I got sober and everything. He was such a part of my partying experiences because those songs were so big. Like, remember that era when those like every party you went to, it was just those songs. It was the best.
Yeah. I would say, since Chingy could probably hear us, why don't you introduce yourself to him so he can get to know us, and then when we can hear him, we can learn about him. So 3 facts about yourself, starting with Anthony.
Oh, cool. Anthony DeVito, 5'7", 185 pounds of lean muscle, professional New York City comedian for over 11 years now. But if you saw me on stage, you'd guess it might be closer to 25 years.
That's a lot of facts, more than 3.
That was 3, man.
That was 3.
I bundled the last one, but that was 3. I did do a bundle deal.
Oh wait, he's back. Hang on, I gotta admit him again. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, Mr. Chingy. I hope that
it's still showing on my screen. Nope.
He's
We
back.
got a $6.
Dude,
screens. I love it.
On the participant screen, I now have. He has 2 going. So I hope we have
great.
1 frozen screen for each.
I don't know how many phones Howard has.
Probably 1 million, dude.
Yeah.
You know.
Should we keep the introductions going, Greg?
Yeah.
All right,
Greg
I'll do
introduced
3.
this idea of 3 facts.
I'll do 3 facts about myself so he can get to know who I am as well.
Great. That's great.
Yeah, I'm. What?
There he is.
This is going to be any more like us.
I love it.
I believe he's here.
Can you hear us?
Howard.
Don't call. Who told you you could call him that name, Anthony?
Right.
I was.
You have to call him by his professional name. I don't like when you call me Corluzzo.
Nope, we lost it. Oh,
Your name is.
wait, hold on.
Can you hear us now, Chingy?
I think he can.
So close. The technology is almost there.
I think the best thing to do, maybe.
This is hilarious.
I'm thinking that the best thing to do would.
Wait.
I think we might have to reschedule Chingy to a time when you have a better internet connection. Oh, hold on. This might be good.
No, I think this is it.
This is it.
Okay. Wait a minute. Give me a second. Is this it?
Yes, this is it.
Is it it? Is it good?
This is it.
This
so
is good.
Yes.
We can't tell you how excited we are to have you here on the Rad Dudecast. We're big fans, man. Thank you for stopping by.
I'm glad that we got it.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we got this. I'm glad that we got this. Thank y'all. No, I appreciate it. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate
of course.
Nope. We literally have been doing this for 10 years, and we fuck up our audio every single week. So don't feel bad about that.
Yeah. I was like, damn, the audio and stuff messing up. I'm tripping. So I'm trying to fix it. I'm trying to get it fixed, but we got it.
Man, this is the smoothest our podcast has ever gone. Don't worry about it at all.
What's funny,
right?
Before the podcast, we were like, man, like, what should we talk about? What are we going to do? We were prepping for all the different things. It was like, well, what if he can just never get on and the audio never works? We did not foresee that, although that would have been the most hilarious thing.
Right. I mean, you know what's funny? I remember, do y'all recall that Nelly and Ludacris versus battle they did?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they just did this versus battle when Nelly internet was messing up.
It's
like 500,000 people watching.
They couldn't really get through it. So, well, that's the complications of, having the technology, and I'm one place and y'all in different places, and we try to make it work, but we get it working. We get it going.
We got it working. It's similar to how ESPN was doing that horse game during the quarantine, where they'd have like NBA players film their own shots, and play against.
Right.
And it was so funny because you'd see the NBA players and they'd have these beautiful, amazing courts in their backyard, and they'd go up
in and out.
That too. But they'd go up against the WNBA player, and she'd just have like a garage hoop that looked like it was like, just
it's
in the
nothing like theirs.
Nothing like theirs. And you're like,
nothing like theirs. So
no.
you're like, oh, okay.
You're like, oh, okay, I don't think the pay's quite equal here.
That's definitely not.
Yeah. Chris Paul had a mansion and a film crew, and this WNBA player had her aunt holding a video camera.
So,
man, it's great.
So we can clearly see the disconnect.
Now, something we were talking about that's so interesting to me is like, all those smash hits you had. You were young, right? When you were young. What was that like? Like, because that was like the soundtrack of growing up for me. What was that like to be that young and just blow up like that? What was your lifestyle like?
Well, what's funny? I was young, but a lot of people thought I was younger than what I was. Like, a lot of people thought I was like 16 years old. Right. And I was 23. I was when I got my record deal, I was 22. Right. But when I came out officially, I was 23. And so a lot of people still thought I was like 15 and stuff. But what it was like, I mean, coming from a grind where I've been trying to make it in the music industry all my life since the late 80s. When I finally accomplished that goal and signed with Disturbing the Peace, Capitol Records, it was great. It was a dream come true for me. So it was a long, hard road because I had been struggling to get there, but it was a dream come true for me. And then when you come out and your first record you release, which I wrote in '96, it came out in 2003.
Wow.
The first record with no feature from anybody, my first record ever, just me by myself, goes #1.
Yeah.
So for me, that was a huge deal, man. That was huge.
How'd that happen that it was like 8 years later? I don't know math, but
actually it was 2002 around September, October. That's when me and the producers I was working with, Track Stars, we was putting together a demo. Then we kind of shipped it off to a couple of people at some different labels. And Chaka Zulu, which was Ludacris' manager and co-owner of Disturbing the Peace, he had hit a Zoback, a friend of ours that was in the producers I was working with, and told him to tell me to finish that song right there. Because I only had the hook in the first verse.
Mhm.
So that was what I had. And he was like, tell him to finish that song. And so I finished that song and we put it on vinyl. And this is all in the matter of September, October 2002.
Wow.
By next year, right there was #1 in the country.
Right.
Wow. We lost him again. I don't know if you can hear us. We lost him again, but that's an amazing story. There you go. You're back.
Somebody had called me.
Oh, right.
Okay. Yeah, that happened. Was that before? Were you opening for Nelly before that album dropped, or after?
Okay, let me tell you how that happened. Actually, well, being from St. Louis, I know a lot of the different camps. I know people from there. I grew up. Our lead that's in the St. Lunatics, the group Nelly. I grew up with his younger brother Ahmad since we were like 6. So what happened was me, Ahmad, and another friend of ours formed a group called Three Strikes, and this was in like 2000, 2001. So T Love, who was managing Nelly at the time and a friend of Nelly's, he wanted to manage us. And so they was doing this they was finna do this spot date run where they was just doing shows in different cities, and T Love wanted us to open. And so that's how we got to open those shows. And this was in like 2001. And like I say, we all know each other and stuff. So
Yeah.
it wasn't that hard because I grew up with certain individuals over there.
It's similar. Oh, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say, but that's how we got on that tour.
Yeah, it's a similar thing in comedy. I mean, all of us are stand-up comedians who haven't broke it big yet, but we've all have some TV credits and have done some stuff. It's a similar thing where it's a big deal when you get to open for these names, it makes a big difference because you get to know them.
Right.
They vouch for you, you get the experience of their crowds as opposed to the crowds that come out to see me when I headline. They don't know who I am. They just bought tickets to see comedy.
I'm going to tell you something, too.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something. In one city, I forgot what city it was, because we was rocking them shows, being the opening act. One city, when Nelly and them got on stage and was performing, the crowd was going, 3 strikes, 3 strikes.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That happens in comedy, too. Sometimes you'll be out. If you open for a guy, you'll be out after the show, and they'll go, hey, you should have been the headliner, man. And you got to be like, hey, I know I should have, but you got to shut up because if he hears that, I'm getting fired.
I'm kicked off the road.
Yeah.
The last show I did, people were screaming 3 strikes. And I was like, God, I don't even know him yet.
You're out.
It was a great run, man. It was a cool thing. It was like the venues were like 10,000 or more.
Wow.
So I have to say that was a beautiful thing, man, and I appreciate Nelly and them for when we did that.
Yeah, I mean it's really, you just have had a amazing career. Now we all just watched. I just watched the Woe Down video.
Yeah.
First of all, I have a question. When you the outdoor shots. Are those Gucci sweatpants? Because I need whatever you were wearing. I need those.
So look, a lot of people love those sweatpants too, but I'm gonna tell you, it's so simple. I got Urban Outfitters.
Are you serious?
Nice. I got some green and royal blue and white ones on, kind of like that right now. Urban Outfitters.
That's amazing. I was like, those are Gucci. Those must cost $3,000. I can't get those.
They costed $40. $40.
Even wearing $40 sweatpants, you're still the most dressed up person we've ever had on this podcast.
Yeah, they look amazing.
You gotta keep it fly. Yeah. They look great every time. And I'm gonna tell you too. This is what I do. I wear those all through the week, and I just change my top because I love them that much. I love them that much. I change my shoes and my shirt, and I wear them all through the week because I get compliments on them every day. People love those sweats.
It's funny how that. It's funny how that happens because, like, I love Air Max, man. I love Air Max. I don't have a huge collection, but I have some nice Air Max. But the most compliments I get are on $50 Air Skylons because no one has them. So everyone goes, "Where did you get those?" And they're a $50 shoe, you know.
And you just break them. You break them out every now and then, sometimes. And then everybody like, "Where you get those?" Yeah, but the stuff sometimes the stuff that costs less is more sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm not gonna go pay for no Gucci sweats. They're gonna be about $1,200.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh man, I'm an adult now. I just buy. I go to a Walmart. Go. I just open up that gift card and let the shit fly.
Right.
I don't care anymore. It's over.
Now,
Anthony.
Go ahead, Anthony. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask when you, because right there it was such a crazy, I mean, chart topper, as Brendan said. Did you know when you made it? Were you like, this might be huge? Did you have any idea?
Did I know when I made it? Actually, when I knew it was when I knew it was becoming a big deal, I remember being on tour. We was on, I want to say it might have been the Rock the Mic tour with 50 Cent, Busta Rhymes now. I think it was that tour, and they was telling me they came, A&R from the record label came on a bus and said, "Man, do you know that you're selling 90,000 records a week?"
Wow.
Wow.
He said you're consistently selling 90,000 records a week.
Wow.
I said, and I'm such a humble dude, though, man. I was just like, I was like, oh, for real, cool. And just got back to what I was doing. Right. And just got back to what I was doing, man.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Because how I look at it, it's been a struggle doing it, but it's just what I love to do. I don't put myself on a pedestal. I don't take nothing for granted because I know just as quick as it came, it can go. So I was just like, I appreciate that. That's cool. But let's keep it going.
Now you started super young, right? I mean, you started rapping
23.
super young.
6 years old.
No, that's true. And how did that happen? Like, how was it just kids in your neighborhood? Was it just at your kitchen table? What were you do? How did you that young just get into rap music?
Okay, actually, rapping was something I loved to do. But my first favorite rapper ever was Eazy-E. May he rest in paradise, from NWA.
Yeah, of course.
But it was just something I loved to do. I wanted to rap, but who made me really want to entertain was Michael Jackson. You see Michael Jackson on the stage, you'd be like, shit, I want to do that.
Yeah.
Like, so he made me want to entertain and get on the stage. But I love music, period, all types of music, but rap music, I just felt like, I want to do that. And so I just started kind of writing my own lyrics around 6, 7 years old. Wasn't talking about much back then, but see, back then it was more of a hip hop element, battle rapping,
right.
Conscious rap, so that's kind of back then what I was doing was a lot of battle rap. It wasn't until I figured out how to write songs, commercial songs, is when I started writing commercial songs for radio.
Mm-hmm. Right. So that's like a skit, so that's what I always wondered, right? Like the idea of writing, like, okay, I'm gonna write a song that's gonna be a hit. There's like a style, like what is that? What does that mean, like for you to say, like, I started to learn how to write commercial songs?
Well, when I say commercial songs, radio friendly records, like a right there, like a like where because most radio friendly songs, man, you just hear guys talking about girls.
Right.
Yeah. Right. When you think of radio friendly songs for guys, it's like talking about girls. Right there, One Call Away, Drake. The type of records Drake about girls. That's what I call friendly. But anything that's that all walks of life can adapt to. Kids that's 7, 8, elderly people 80 or like 2, and middle 40s and all that. That's what commercial music is, where everybody actually. Woe Down is what I call a commercial song, because all walks of life likes Woe Down, from kids that's 6 to elderly people that's 86. And that record's been doing very good too.
I mean I hadn't heard that song, and that video is so fun. The song's so good.
It's very fun.
Yeah, it's good. Now, how did you hook up? Who are the country performers in that?
Meg and Tyler.
Yeah, I don't know them.
All right, I know Meg was on The Voice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Meg was on The Voice for a minute, and Tyler is her husband. They're a country duo out of Nashville. I met them. I had a relative that was in Nashville for work, and they went with Gibson Guitar, and Megan Tyler was doing a showcase at their studio for Gibson Guitar, and this girl had told Megan Tyler that I was cousins with somebody that was there, and so Megan Tyler asked him, and he was like, yeah, and I think they swapped information, and then I remember him talking to me about going down there. We went down there, and I remember the next day waking up, I had an idea in my head for a track. So when we got to the studio, I just told Tyler, let me pass me that drum machine. So I got on the drum machine, laid down the rhythm section. I had Tyler put some guitar and bass on there. Meg had the title to the hook, but then I collaborated with Meg on making the hook. Then I went right in the booth and freestyled my parts, and then that's literally how that song came about.
Oh, wow.
It was that quick too, and we did other records as well.
Oh, nice.
When I'm in the studio, man, I don't play when I'm in the studio, man. I get in there. If I'm at any studio, I'm working. We working. That's what we there for. So we got it in. We made like literally. I probably have like a EP done with them alone.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
Man.
Now, do you have any because you're talking about commercial, I get it, the radio friendly song that, it needs a hook, it needs to be clean, relatively clean. Do you have any favorite artists? Like growing up, I listened to a lot of Gangstar, and that's
rest in peace to I love
rest in peace to Guru, and I love Premier, and that's an example of guys who just it wasn't really radio friendly. It was
beginning stages of hip hop.
Right, exactly. And it was they didn't really have the hooks. They didn't, but are there any artists like that who you think are phenomenal, but that never really got the break that they needed, or never really broke big out of the underground?
You know what? Master Ace.
Oh, I love him.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a time where he came up, but I'm just saying he still was underground. Yeah. But Master Ace, man, it's a it's a lot of people out there though like that. Right. It's a lot of people. I can't think of a lot of names right now. But
the same with stand-up. In stand-up, there's so many comedians that I'm like, all of these guys are killers, and they've been around for a long time. But my mom has no idea who Chad Daniels is or any of these guys. Right. Some of these like really great. I always wondered about that with like hip hop. Like, who's the guy who just never got their cut? I don't know Master Ace, so I'm going to check him out. This is very exciting for me now.
Him and Marco Polo, which is a producer, they released a dope hip hop project not too long ago. And it's a lot of people out there, man. What's funny? Tiffany Haddish was around me when early on.
Mm-hmm.
We used to go to watch her do her comedy show.
Oh, right.
Oh, really?
Sometimes, yeah, man.
Yes.
So it's great to see how she blossomed and what she became. That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, I was talking to a friend of mine from St. Louis this morning, and I was like, "Oh, we're having Chingy on our podcast today. We're excited." And he was like, "There's a comedian. She's older than you, but this woman named Kathleen Madigan. I guess she went to your high school, is what my friend told me."
Really?
McClure North.
I guess you don't remember her.
That's where I went. She went. I'm trying to who is it?
She would have been older. She's
a long time ago, man.
She's like no. She's old. She's probably 15 years older than you. Yeah. I don't want to put her age out there, but she's quite a bit older than you. But she's like she's big in the South. She does a lot of she does a lot of stuff with like Ron White, those blue collar comedy tour type stuff. Like Jeff Foxworthy. Cool. But yeah, she went to McClure North. Yeah.
Nice. So we got we flourishing out of McClure North with the talent.
Real quick,
I
man.
used to go to McClure North. All I used to do, because people would tell you, if I see people from school today, they be like, all he used to do is write raps in the back. I did my work though. I got my work done.
Yeah.
Did you ever think about battling a teacher, or did you just strictly keep it to classmates?
There were some teachers I thought about getting with, some ladies.
Just real quick, we only have like a minute left, man. I know I want to keep you past your time, but anything, man, like what can we get our fans? What can you give us, man? What can we tell them to keep their eyes out on? You know,
keep your eyes. If you haven't checked out the Woe Down single featuring Megan Tyler, check that out. It's on all social platforms. June 26th, all cap, my new single will be dropping. I'm gonna drop my Crown Jewel EP. Should be in July. I'm trying to get it all mixed and mastered now. Check out RadThud.com. Get you some merch from your boy Chingaling. And
I'm gonna get one of those shirts from that there shirt.
Yeah.
I want one of those shirts.
We're all buying them. We're all Chingy guys now.
Yeah.
This is now a Chingy
man.
dedicated podcast.
Yeah, I'm getting those
Yes.
sweatpants. People are gonna see me and they're gonna be like, "Hey man, I don't want to say anything, but you look exactly like Chingy now." And I'm gonna say, just go to Urban Outfitters and you can get a whole.
Don't give everybody the secret.
Yeah, don't tell them the
Don't
secret.
give everybody the secret.
Don't worry, our podcast is barely everybody.
Go buy 'em all up.
You gotta say, no, you couldn't afford these sweatpants. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, man.
Say they about 500.
Yeah.
It's a French store called Urban Outfitters. You've probably never heard of it.
Now, where can they follow you on social media? Anything like that?
Follow me on, of course, on Instagram at Chingy. On Twitter, it's at Chingy Full Deck, FULLDEKK at Chingy Full Deck, and on at Chingy Full Deck on Facebook, I believe too. I'm trying to get it all changed over to Chingy, but take time for time. And hit up RadThud.com, man.
Will do.
Yeah.
And
I want
anytime, man.
Make sure people get the Woe Down and a lot of these playlists on Apple, Spotify, and all that. Just stream it. Stream the Woe Down, stream all cap, and be looking out for the new EP, Crown Jewel.
Do the same things you do for our comedy albums. Just set it on repeat and go to sleep. Get them that money. Just
set it on repeat, go to sleep.
Yeah.
Go in the
my new
Apple
thing.
Store, play it on every phone in the Apple Store.
Yeah. Before Greg says anything, I just got to say, because a lot of our fans are older teenagers, young 20s, and they might not know this man is a legend. Not only check out everything he said, check out the earlier work, because it's if you haven't heard it, it was very instrumental in just kind of forming. I mean, me and Anthony were big rap guys growing up, and like that was a big
fucking piece of
And
shit.
you know what?
Yeah.
You know what, man? A lot of people tell me, my early music was like theme songs to their life and soundtracks to their life. And I think it's just because, you know what, I did this show yesterday for St. Louis Fair. Since they can't do the concerts here on the street, they doing it socially, and we was listening to Right There, and then I was just like, dang man, a lot of the current rap music sounds so different from this. And when I say different, it's just the vibration back then was the energy and the vibration of the music back then, to me, was just a little more authentic and original. It
100%.
felt really, really good. Not to say none of the music today don't feel good, but it's a difference. It's just some about it that's different.
I found it, to be honest, and I know you got to go. I found that era of hip hop, it was just more fun. It was more fun. It was like there wasn't this like, oh, I gotta be a certain way, a certain image. It was just like, it was fun.
True.
It was just like, here's a party song. I'm out
Yeah, that's true. And you know what? A lot of people then was setting the image, was trend setting.
Right.
You know what I mean? A lot of people then was
Yeah.
being original and authentic and being themselves and being different. I come from a hip hop journey where you had to be different. If you sounded like them, you didn't get accepted. You had to be different. You had to stand out.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes stars versus just popular artists. You got to stand out. You don't follow the trend, be the trend.
Yeah.
Right.
And I found too, like, geography had a lot to do with it too. Like, you guys sounded so different in St. Louis than what was going on in New York or LA or the South. And it was just like, you could tell just by your sound where you were from. Whereas I feel like now it's like, it's more kind of jumbled into one thing.
And you know what it is.
Yeah. How was that to just, because the Midwest was overlooked, I felt like, for years. And then you guys came along and it became and we very much a part of hip hop. You got your Eminems. Eminem represent Midwest. Bone Thugs and Harmony. You got a lot of it's a lot of great groups from the Midwest, man. But we always looked at it as you got to stand out, you got to be different, you got to be an outcast. I say, set the trend, be the trend, don't follow it.
I'm from Cleveland. That's where I grew up. We're all in New York City now, but we used to, in high school, we used to go to this one mall because that's where Bone went. So we just go there and sit around.
Did y'all see him?
What's that?
Did y'all see him?
Yeah, every once in a while we'd go there to try and see members of Bone. We'd go sit at this mall just hoping one of them came, and we'd see him every once in a while. But it was
Bone
like,
is my favorite group in the world. They my number one rap group, 5 members. Bone is they're my favorite. To get 5 guys that can rap and harmonize in that way, it's amazing. It's unbelievable. I just talked to Flesh Bone too. There they cool.
Oh wow!
I love Bone. I love Bone forever.
Yeah. I got in a fight with my ex-girlfriend because I called him Bone, and she goes, "Don't you mean Bone Thugs and Harmony?" And I was like, "Yeah, but people call him Bone." She was like, "No one calls him Bone." And I was like, "You're telling me, no, I'm from Cleveland, I like rap, and you're telling me no one calls him Bone." And she was like, "I've never heard that." And so I broke up. I had to break up.
That was the shortcut. That was the shortcut for the name. They did. I say Bone. I don't say Bone Thugs and Harmony. I say Bone.
No.
Well, hey man,
cool.
Dude, thank you so much for coming out. You're welcome back anytime. Sorry I went over a little bit, but you, man, thanks for fucking enlightening us.
Yeah, man, I gotta thank you. I saw so many great butts over the years shaking to your music, and I just thank you for that.
Hey, I have no problem with accepting that.
All right, man. Thank you, dude.
Man. I appreciate you guys, man. Anytime when the EP drop, let's do it again.
Yeah, whenever you want, man.
Whenever you want. You come every day. We don't care.
You're an honorary member.
Talk to you later.
I appreciate that. I'm going to hold y'all up to that, too.
All right.
All right, man. Have a good day.
Yeah. You too.
Round of applause.
Yo, Chingy is our guy. This is crazy. Chingy's my favorite rapper now.
I really thought we just weren't going to – this just wasn't going to work.
I was so
the first
excited.
5 minutes was so long.
Dude, I was like, this is going to be a half hour of no video. Chingy be like, is this on? Is this off? Is this on? And I was like, this would work the best way possible.
I was so excited for that, though. I was excited for an hour of technical difficulties. I was like, man, there's nothing more perfect than that. Yeah, no, that was great. Like I said, I was just excited.
Well, not only that, had it been an hour of technical difficulties, every Rad Dudecast fan would have thought it was a bit. Yeah. They would have just thought they don't have Chingy, and it was just like
a weird poll.
We had to see motive. There's no motive for us to have. There's no reason. We had 2 guests in our history.
Yeah. I thought it was funny that they were like, man, I guess in quarantine you can just like get like famous people, you know what I mean? It was like, I don't know, maybe we took a shot in the dark, and he was like, yeah, for sure, this is perfect timing.
Yeah,
I gotta say, I was nervous. Anthony wasn't nervous. Greg wasn't. For some reason, I was really nervous, and he couldn't have been a nicer guy. He couldn't have been. I mean, he was just sweet, and what a guy.
You got to understand, like, the amount of experience that we have doing radio or podcasts, this guy had number 1 singles in the country. Do you know how much radio or podcasts or like, you know how many white guys with a microphone in front of him he's talked to in his life? This guy is
20 years,
beyond comfortable, man.
Right.
It had to be.
Well, and that was back when it mattered too. Like now, album sales don't mean shit now because everyone puts out albums to drive live event sales because that's where you make money. Like back then, Billboard meant something. The Billboard meant you were getting rich. You know, like
that was the thing is that I was like, well, the questions I want to ask aren't about rap. You know, I was like, what's your favorite color? These are the interviews. What's your favorite fruit? You know, like, and then I was like, is it gonna be so? I was like, you
Part
guys should
two,
just go
man.
rap.
Yeah,
You know?
I wanted to
He's
play
coming back.
games. We didn't have enough time with him.
Yeah, well, I actually think he would have done more, but we were like trying to really respect the half hour. I kind of think he was just like having a good time. You know?
Oh, I almost had when we hit 2:00.
Yeah.
I had a panic attack. I was like, I'm going to hang up on him. I was told he only has a half hour. I don't care if he's leading into it. I'm hanging up on him. He said only a half hour.
You're going to get sued.
You guys
I think
talking.
I think he would have stayed.
I think he would have stayed too. But I would. Here's the thing, right? I've done radio where I've had to go, and then things were going, and then I stayed, and then I was fucked.
Somebody
Right,
brought
so I
up
was just
food in
like-
the background. You see that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
want
I
him
think
to
he
be
was
like
waiting for lunch. Yeah.
to be too
Yeah.
courteous. I didn't want him to be too courteous and then
I know.
stay, even though he couldn't.
That was hilarious. Greg cut Chingy off to tell Chingy he had to
He's
go.
gotta go.
I couldn't believe it.
You give me a half hour, you get a half hour.
I was
I'm
like,
sorry.
all right, Chingy,
Oscar speech.
This is a great story and everything, but you gotta go.
You got to go.
That's
You
our
told
time.
me you had a hard out and a half. He didn't tell me. His manager told me he had a hard out and a half hour. I don't want to put that guy in trouble with his wife or
like a therapist.
with the other podcasts he has to do.
I bet he didn't even know the time limit. You know how like managers and stuff are? Like he probably was like, I don't know, I just figured I'd be on 3 hours. It's like I've heard of one podcast and it's Joe Rogan and it's 4 hours long. So I
I
assume
knew the
that's
time
what
limit.
this is gonna be. I'm
I
having
knew
a
the
great
time
time. And Greg was like, tight ship around here.
You damn right.
You got to get
Dude,
to the
well, I
post
want the
show.
poor guy. He said he'd come back. We get him back for an hour. Now he tasted the Rad Dudecast. Now we give him the entree next time.
Part two, we can ask him worst kitchen mishap. All the questions Greg wants to ask.
You know, I have to apologize to Greg because like I got so caught up in the role of like, rap interviewer. I was so excited to hear about like his rap history. But like
No, I had a ton of questions I wanted to ask.
there was a bunch of stuff like I would have liked to hear like worst show, like, you know, stuff like that. So Greg, scale of 1 to 10, what type of apology do I owe you?
I'd say about it at 7.3.
If you have
Okay.
to.
7.2.
Damn. Hi.
No, we only had a half hour. We only had 20 minutes because of the phone incident. So we started about 140. So he probably only did about 20 minutes.
Here's the thing.
25 minutes, maybe.
We did 8 parts of Dungeons and Dragons. Why wouldn't we do an 8-part Chingy series?
Well, because his manager said he only has a half hour, and I was respecting the
I'm saying
the
this.
time.
We email them back and we go, look, we typically do 8-part series on the Rad Dudecast, and we'd like to do an 8-part docu-series of who's behind Chingy, the man named Howard. I kept calling him. I don't know why you guys were yelling at me about calling him by his name.
I
Because
thought
it's
Howard was the
disrespectful.
manager guy.
No.
That's actually his phone.
Well,
yeah.
I'll be honest.
His phone's name.
Because he didn't put that. He's never done Zoom before. I mean, he's probably not doing Zoom a lot. So when it comes up, it says his phone, meaning he's never changed it, and he goes by Chingy. So you call him by his name. You know, if it said, if I went on a podcast and people would be like, hey, Greg Corluzzo, I'd be like, stop calling me Corluzzo. My name is Greg Stone.
Or you at least ask. You don't just go Howard. You know, first of all, he goes by Howie. I know for a fact. But second of all, you got to ask. You don't just come in. I mean, what's Jay-Z's name again?
Sean.
Sean. You're gonna call him Sean right off the bat. You're gonna.
The head of the CDC, Mr. Fauci. He's a doctor.
Yeah.
First rule of business is that you always make the client feel comfortable. You shorten their name. That's what you do. You know, you go
Give him a
Howie.
nickname.
Just like
I've
Brendan was
never-
saying, you give him a nickname.
I'm about to out you right now, and I apologize in advance. I've never seen you in my life nervous. Well, I've seen you nervous for some shows, but this interview, I kept looking at you, and you were just like, and I was like, yo, Anthony's just so excited to have you.
Well, I was just so excited, man.
I
Like,
know.
yeah, I mean, I'm such a fan. So I was genuinely very excited. And then I also was like, I could feel all of us wanting to ask right away if there was silence. So I was like, also mouth agape, waiting for my turn to speak.
Yeah, I
But
threw to you.
listening. Yeah, no, for sure. I think we were all just like very excited to talk to Chingy,
It's so funny.
which is understandable.
I wasn't so nervous because I'm not the biggest. I'm an indie rap guy and I like the classics and stuff like that. But like if we had Bendis on, like a comic book writer, I don't know how I would react, but I was more nervous because I was like, I don't want to insult him by asking the dumbest thing ever because, you know, like I didn't want to ask the dumbest thing ever. I wanted to know where Chingy came from. Well, I wanted to know if it was because of Chingy the change, because the sound the change makes, ching, 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 or if it's
that's a great
bling,
question.
Chingy, it's like you look Chingy.
I think probably it is
That's
the
a great
change
question.
because he calls himself Chingaling a lot in songs. So maybe it's the change. But this is, let me give my 7.3 apology. Well, basically
To apologize.
No, basically what happened is like, I was like, we're going to have all these fun, crazy questions and do these games.
Yeah.
And then he came and I freaked out.
Same.
I freaked out and I was like, I gotta do a real, now I'm on 2020 and I have to do
Brendan was like a fucking Rolling Stones journalist.
A legitimate interview with Chingy, a non-red.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Well, no, it wasn't awesome. I fucked up, man.
That was great.
No, what are you talking about? We had a great time.
Someone has to take charge.
And we only had 25 minutes, right? We finally started getting warmed up at the end, but then I had to call it because rules are rules.
It's in the contract.
And I follow the rules. I don't know what the right thing to do was.
I thought it was just like a good time. I thought it was interesting. Like, I mean, you know, obviously I have a vested interest in this, but I thought it was a compelling interview and a good time, man. I didn't, you know.
If you think immediately after we go off air today, I'm not ordering us 4 pairs of Urban Outfitters sweatpants that are fake Gucci knockoffs. That I mean, those things, when you watch this video, they look great. Guys, check out the Woe Down video. You only see the tops of the sweatpants, but they look like they're $3,000 sweatpants.
Yeah, I'm going to get them.
The Chingy effect, man, makes it look like things are more expensive.
Why did we have Chingy? That's so crazy. It's the craziest thing. No, I mean, not why.
We're in an entertainment family.
When the doorbell rang, we said, "You come in, of course, love to," but like so random, so completely random of a guest. We don't even have guests.
This is what needs.
Couldn't be happier.
This is what road I think we need to go down. I think you need to, and we're not going to tell our public how we book Chingy. We have our ways. We're pretty famous. According to Blind Mike, one of us is, but that's not true. We all 3 are.
It wasn't Anthony who got him.
I would say this. I would say this, Greg. I would say you email Chingy's manager thanking him for the time and say, send us anyone else you got.
Send us only Southern rappers. We are only. Is he from the South?
From St. Louis.
St. Louis.
I don't know where St. Louis is.
Southern,
Midwest. It counts as Midwest, but it's got
Midwestern rappers.
Just say any client you got, send to the Rad Dudecast. I don't care if it's a child dance team. Send them on to the Rad Dudecast.
Yeah. Oh man, that was fun. I hope we didn't come off too nervous with the guy. He seemed to have fun. Doesn't really matter.
Think so.
It also doesn't matter.
I don't think we were nervous. We were asking him questions that got him excited to answer. It seemed like.
Also, were you guys a little impressed with my research? I had a lot on my sheet.
The Kathleen Madigan poll was impressive.
Yeah, Kathleen Madigan.
Well, that was the one thing that I wanted to make fun of you for. You brought up someone who went to his high school 15 years before he attended. How do you land that?
I was kind of waiting for the question part, too, where it's
Grover Cleveland grew up in your town, right? Throw that out.
Yeah.
St. Louis Arch.
It literally was like Chris Farley when he's like, hey, you remember, you know that, what's that bit where he does
that's how you did that song? That was great.
Yeah.
Dude, I heard you live near the first Applebee's ever created. Tell us about that.
St. Louis Rams, huh?
That's so funny, though. That's so funny. He's funny because that was very funny to be like, I started rapping when I was 6. Wasn't talking about much. Like that's that's fun. Of course you would.
That's the thing that gets me about rappers do that a lot. And like music, they'll be like, "Oh, I've been rapping since I was 3," and it's like, "Well, I've been funny since I was 2. Can I count? I was a comedian." You know what I mean? I think it's tricky when not some of these guys, when people will bring up like And like comedians too will honestly do that. They'll be like, yeah, I did stand up, you know, in a fourth grade talent show. It's like, I'm not counting that as stand up. Yeah, I'm not.
Well, that's what's interesting about
But
stand
if they had
up.
bits, I count it.
Right.
You know what I
See the
mean? I
tape.
count it. Yeah,
That-
I see the tape. Exactly.
That's what's interesting about stand up is like I always whenever people are like asking me about how to become a stand up, it's always like, well, it's going to take a long time because you have to imagine it like this. Like if you play the cello, you can start when you're 3
Mhm.
and like you could be a virtuoso by the time you're 22. Stand up, in terms of getting on stage, like, yeah, of course Chappelle did it when he was 15 or whatever. But for the most part, nobody does it till they're 22. So you have to count. You're starting the cello at 22. You know, you're starting learning your instrument at 22. Of course, it's going to take way longer. You can't practice as a kid, like unless you grow up in a club. You know.
Yeah,
I mean,
you make observations. Go ahead, Brendan.
Right, you can make observations.
Anthony.
You could practice as a kid, but man, you would be insufferable.
Dude,
Can you imagine?
I did stand up in fourth grade at a talent show. I did all of Joey Cola's bits because I memorized his bits. And I went on, and he had a bit about, he would do an impression of, who's that famous? Bob Ross. And he would be like, you had a little napalm yellow here, and you blow these. Like, I think it's like an Asian slur. I don't remember what it was. Back to Viet Cong. And I was doing that bit in front of my fourth grade class, word for word. And my teacher was like, what the fuck is happening here? What the fuck is happening here? But I love stand-up.
What I meant is if you created your own material. You know what I mean?
I'm sure I threw some personal stuff.
No, that would
Weird.
that would be better. That would be better because I've done. I don't know if you guys have ever done a show with a kid. Years ago, I was headlining some like bar show upstate somewhere, and there was a fucking kid comedian on the show, 11 years old, and just clearly his dad had written all of his jokes, and it was the most cringe-inducing, like infuriating thing I've ever. Like, I just wanted to be like, "Why are you doing? You're just shooting for America's Got Talent. That's all you're doing. Like, you don't. The things you're saying, they're not thoughts you thought up. I know adult thoughts. Like, this is pathetic. It was just." Pathetic.
I'd rather see a kid be like, why is blue red? I don't know, green. Man, that's how kids write jokes.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how my nephew writes jokes.
No, I think that's great in the context of adults. I'm saying if I was another kid and I was like, yeah, man, like they got Salisbury steak or whatever today, and like they were like, what's the deal with Salisbury steak? I would be like, this guy is so fucking annoying.
Yeah. Dude, my nephew told a joke last week that was, why are dinosaurs dinosaurs? Why? Dinosaurs. That's a joke.
Rule
man.
of 3.
That's a joke.
Yeah.
You guys are looking at me like I'm an asshole. I don't understand. Like, you get what the hell I just said, right?
It's a new angle. You just zoomed in
Get
on
the
it.
idea that that's not you didn't have to judge that joke. He's my fucking nephew. He's a little kid. You both stared at me like I'm an asshole.
Romy's
I
right.
want a 7.3 apology for that. You guys,
No, I
for no reason.
I'll
offer
give you 2.1. The zoom threw me off.
I need a wide angle.
Yeah, you zoomed in so close. I thought you were going to tell me something very important, like on a soap opera. Or
No, man, I'm not directing. I'm not directing this like a fucking independent movie. I just zoomed in.
I'll tell you.
I'll tell you. I'll say it.
I'll tell you right now why I gave you nothing.
Hmm?
I'll tell you why I gave you nothing.
All right.
And it's not you. I'm not giving you nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Jacob's been on this podcast, okay? I know how smart that kid is.
Yeah.
I've seen him in action. He knows that's not a joke. He's trying to get away with some shit.
It's anti-humor, and you should have at least laughed at that.
Yeah, and if it's anti-humor, I'm anti-laugh.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Mission
He's
accomplished.
fucked up. Fuck my nephew up.
No, I love your nephew. I'm giving him credit for how smart he is. He knows that's not a joke. He was trying to pull one on Uncle Greg.
He actually said it when he was like 2. I just remember it.
Oh,
Like, now
okay.
he's
Never
making more
mind.
sense
Well,
now. He's
no,
making
it's
more
a
sense now.
2-year-old. I laugh. I laugh if it's a
I was
2-year-old.
trying to explain.
Jacob is 2. I thought he was like.
Jesus
Yeah, this guy's
Christ, Anthony.
Oh, what threw you off on that one? I didn't even zoom the camera.
What?
This guy doesn't listen.
Did you say another joke?
No, you're not listening.
He
I mean,
said Jacob was 2.
He said it when he was 2.
Oh, he said it when he was 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, he's not
Well,
2. He's
I
much
heard
older
most
now.
of that.
How could he be 2? You think he was born 2 years ago? You remember
That's
my
what
mom's?
now you'll understand my confusion as to why I said Jacob is 2. I thought he was 14 years old.
You're crazy. Anyway, we had Chingy on the podcast today. That was fun.
Yeah. By the way, I just want to.
Wait till you see what I got next week. What?
I just want to reiterate for all our fans because it was really nice of Chingy to come on. We don't have guests very often. Definitely check out his new single All Cap, dropping Friday, June 26th, and then he's got an EP coming out later this summer called Crown Jewel. So check that out. It was a huge score for me that his favorite group is Bone. God, I love Bone. That's a big score for
they're
Cleveland.
Cleveland guys.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this. I was going to make a Rad Dudecast playlist on Spotify, and then I'll put all of Chingy's songs on our playlist with our albums and Greg's brother Joe's songs. And I don't know. If Harumi wants to send me anything, I'll put that up there. You know what I mean?
And then keep track of the lunatics who aren't our fans who listen to that playlist, who just want the banner, Chingy, and 3 lesser-known comedians.
Well, plus Harumi's animations.
Yeah, good. That works well on Spotify.
It's audio stuff. And maybe some, I don't know, other guests that we've had. I'm going to make a big Rad Dudecast playlist. This is going to take me months to do, so don't expect it soon.
I just realized we should probably address the fans who came to this podcast today from Chingy. They have no idea who we are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We're big. We're some big Chingy fans. That's who we are.
I don't think that's what Greg meant, but
that's all right, guys. Download our albums or some bullshit. Subscribe.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Here's what you can do. If you're Chingy fans and stumble upon the Rad Dudecast, my name is Brendan Ayer. I'm here with Greg Stone and Anthony DeVito. We're all New York City comedians, as is our producer, Dan Harumi. You can subscribe to the Rad Dudecast. You can rate it. You can review it. If you want bonus episodes, you can go to our Patreon, patreon.com/Rad Dudecast. You can follow all of us on social media. I'm at Airbud, EYREBUD. Anthony is at Devo, DEVO, 4 TiVo, right? The number 4. And Greg is
also my email address. At
Greg F. Stone. All of us are on Instagram. And Harumi, you are at Dan Harumi, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, and you can check us out. Follow us on social media.
You guys got plugs? You got any dates coming up? Let's get out of here.
I do, actually.
I do, too.
We're done. We did about an hour.
I'll be at I will be at the this is coming out next Tuesday, so actually starting tomorrow, the 17th, I will be at the Oklahoma City Looney Bin the 17th through the 20th, and then the following week, starting the 24th, I'll be at the Little Rock Looney Bin, the 24th through the 27th, and then July 9th through the 11th, I'll be at the Comedy Caravan in Lexington, Kentucky, but it might be in Louisville, Kentucky, but it's in Kentucky.
Man, those are some great dates. Greg, what do you have going on?
What do you got? I'm actually just checking the website to see if – I don't know if the club I'm performing at is open or will be open. I still don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to be at Mohegan Sun, I think, the 11th of July. That weekend. I don't know if that's happening or not.
I saw somebody, if this helps, I saw somebody posting about being there earlier than that. So it's probably open. Yeah.
Cannon.
Yeah. I saw someone else posted something about being there earlier. So I think it probably is open.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so I'll be there.
Harumi, what do you got going on?
I'm hanging out, man.
Hell yeah, dude.
I got some bad news for the fans. I tested no antibodies for COVID. So I thought I had COVID-19 in March, but still not yet.
I remember that.
Fingers crossed.
Maybe the antibodies cleared out. Can't the antibodies clear out?
No, I mean most likely it would be about 6 months of antibodies. That's what they say. But
I
don't trust these tests.
I've known quicker antibodies sometimes. It depends on where on their bone structure.
They're also saying you might be able to get it twice. They're also saying you might be able to get it twice anyway, so it might not even matter.
Still,
the antibodies don't matter. So, and most of the tests, even when they say you have the antibodies, you don't anyway. These tests is kind of bullshit. So don't worry. You probably could have it. You probably don't have it. Doesn't matter. Probably won't die. You're young and
I thought I had it.
Yeah.
Hey man,
Anthony, what about you, man?
Still Mike. I go get what?
Plugs?
I didn't say anything.
I thought you answered the question. You said my name.
Yeah. Do you have any plugs?
Oh yes. Big time plugs coming at you. July 11th and 12th, I'll be at the Comedy Connection in Providence, Rhode Island. And
but if you're like that close to Mohegan Sun, might as well.
Yeah,
come to see me.
I would do that. I would do
just
that.
Kidding. I'm just kidding.
I don't. Yeah, I would prefer that actually.
No, I was just kidding. Don't make me feel like a dick.
And then I'm at Devo for TiVo on PS4. If you're looking to race me in Crash Bandicoot, Julia hurt her wrist.
Still playing that same game, huh?
We only got one game. I think SpongeBob is coming in the mail. So if anyone wants to play that, I don't know how to play that game though. So you're gonna have to walk me through it.
Who buys the SpongeBob game? 3-year-olds.
Julia loves SpongeBob, man.
For 3-year-olds.
You're
You're
gonna play
going
Red
to get
Dead.
the game, and the first board is going to be like, match yellow to the thing that is yellow. That's what the game you bought is going to be.
Greg, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Who is a man that owns a PS4 and the only 2 games he has are Crash Bandicoot Racing and fucking SpongeBob? That's suspicious activity.
Yeah, it is. Also,
what do you mean as a man? What?
It's just a weird 2 games to me that you're only
Call of Duty 100 times.
Just get some top sellers, then you move in.
Top
2K, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Dude,
see. What kind
also,
of man in the sense of?
So you know, today the PlayStation 5 was announced. Probably going to be out in November. So we're going to enjoy less sales on the best games.
That's great.
A lot of people selling their old games for much cheaper. You could probably get.
Awesome, man. Here's the thing. I'm not used to graphics at all. So this is like so good to me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Plus, the PS5 is going to be.
Greg's agreeing. I'm not agreeing. You have eyes. You've seen life. You watch TV. You've seen videos.
I know what he's mean. The upgrade, like I get what you're saying. Is it's like you're not like sick of these. It doesn't look old to you because it's still better than old school Nintendo. It's better than 8-bit action.
Yes, like
sure, I get that.
Did I ever?
But I get it.
Did I ever tell you?
Even Greg is furious with me, but still, he found a way to be my friend. In that
I understood. I understood as well. I apologize. Did I ever tell you about Arnold? Did I ever tell you about Arnold Palmer Golf for Sega Genesis? I don't
know.
I would come home drunk and play it when I worked at the bar, and I don't know why. To this day, it's a great confusion. I think they didn't have a save game feature, but like you had to progress through these tournaments, right? And then if you wanted to turn your Sega Genesis off, they gave you a password to restart where you were. The password was literally 60 characters long.
Yeah.
You could not enter. You could not enter the password correctly. It was impossible.
And it was caps sensitive.
Yes, cap sensitive.
That's
60
how
characters.
Mike Tyson's Punch Out was.
Yeah,
it was 4 levels of numbers.
Yeah, and so it was like, I don't know who you're protecting this. Do you think like my mom is going to try and sneak to my progression on fucking Arnold Palmer Golf? I could never progress.
What I think that was, and I'd love to do some research on this, but I think what that was literally like the coding saying to what you had in the game.
That makes sense.
Which was like, they were too lazy to just be like, they didn't know how to actually save, so they're just like, all right, he's got a hat on. He did these 3 moves.
I was literally writing JavaScript into my fucking Sega Genesis.
Yeah. The password to get to Mike Tyson should have just been Mike Tyson 69. Like that should have just been it. It was a lot.
Or the way games are now, no password, because no one's trying to steal someone else's progress in a game. You just save. Pick up where you started.
No, they were you had to earn it because Nintendo games were fucking impossible. So if you got there, they didn't want you just jumping to that level. You had to earn beating shit in those old school games. Some of them didn't even have endings. There's games that they didn't finish because they knew there's parts that were just impossible to get past.
Right.
Do you know what I'm big into now? I'm big into the speed running community. Not as a speed runner. I just watch the videos on YouTube, and they're great. These guys are going through games in times you wouldn't believe.
It took me 6 years to beat Super Mario. It takes them 16 seconds now.
Oh, I mean, you should see these guys. You should see these guys cut up Mario Kart, because there's different categories. You can play it broken or not broken, like where you use the cheats.
Mm-hmm.
And Mario Kart 64, every stage is broken beyond belief. There's guys finish the whole fucking game in 30 seconds because you just like drive into a wall at one particular point and hit the right frame. Next thing you know, you're 6 stages ahead by accident.
What, Greg? I got a video game question for you.
Yeah.
So when the PlayStation 5 comes out, is there going to be any kind of attachment for the PS4?
It's
an attachment, kind of like how like Sega CD. We just put it on top. You can attach it.
Game Genie.
They don't. It's not Voltron. It's not like if you call the PlayStations, you get a no. What we're hoping for is backwards compatibility, but they're probably not going to even do that.
I think
either.
they said most likely, right?
Well, they said that to PS4 as well, and then right before it dropped, they were like, "If you want that, it's $500 more."
That'd be so funny if Anthony bought a PS5 and just played Crash Bandicoot Racing.
Yeah,
I would.
Just spend another $500.
I'm worried about if a new Crash Bandicoot comes out and I'm not able to play it on my PS4.
You should be worried.
On your PS5, they're not going to bring the PS4 Crash Bandicoot to PS5. Well, that's the thing. You always want to wait 2 years anyway with these systems because they'll only drop with like 6 games maybe.
Right.
Like 5 or 6 games. And it's like hopefully it's up your alley. So you wait a year, those games go down in price. The PlayStation comes. It's going to come out at like $500-$600. So you got to wait a year anyway for it to go down to like $400 or like only Chingy's going to have the PS5 when it comes out. Only rappers and billionaires.
Well, yeah, because Crash is such a staple of the Sony franchise, right?
No, not really a lot of people buying Crash Bandicoot. Not a lot of people buying PS4 for Crash Bandicoot Racing. But sure, he's maintained, but he's not a staple by any means.
You want to know something?
Younger, though.
You want to know something crazy I just read about that's so insulting?
What?
So the Japanese developers of Sonic, they developed the game. They did everything. They named everyone, and Sony United States got the game and just said, I don't like that this guy's called Eggman. His name's Dr. Robotnik. And without asking the guys who made the entire game. And so the whole English-speaking world knows him as Dr. Robotnik. And the guys who made the game said his name was Eggman.
Yeah. It's pretty, and people play the game as Dr. Robotnik. Like, why does Dr. Robotnik look like a motherfucking egg? People didn't understand. Yeah, they did that with a lot, dude. Go ahead, Anthony. I was just going to give you a little history on toys, but
no, I was not even going to say anything. I could make up something.
No, we make something up after like Transformers were these like Takara, like they were like something else. And then we brought them here, and we're like, this is Optimus Prime now. So people go to these other countries, have no fucking clue who Optimus Prime is. But it's like same thing with Power Rangers. Power Rangers was another show that they just cut. They just cut those fight scenes and then added American actors. That's why you never see the American people in the same scene as those giant monsters because it's from a different fucking show. It really was.
You're not going to be King Japan anymore. You're going to be Bradley now. To appeal to the American audience. You're going to be Mr. Baseball to appeal to our audience.
Here's what I think happened with Dr. Robotnik. They brought that shit over, and they had a Japanese guy who was born in San Francisco who's been lying about knowing Japanese for years. And he just went, oh, yeah, that says Dr. Robotnik. Yeah, that's the ticket. Yeah. And then no one questioned him because he was their Japanese guy.
Yeah, they didn't like mesh it until Sonic Adventure, I think, which was, and they finally made his name now is Dr. It's Igor or Ivan, Dr. Ivan quote Eggman
Yeah.
Robotnik. So they finally meshed it that Eggman is his nickname. So now it makes sense everywhere. But that wasn't the case. They just fucked him. They
had to change a bunch. Knuckles, if you guys remember Knuckles, his Japanese name was Red Elbows. He was not Knuckles. He was Red Elbows.
I laughed very hard at that.
It wasn't good enough.
Why? I thought, oh man, now I got to rethink my sensibilities.
You do. You have to be quicker than that. No, I'm just kidding.
What about? Was there ever a game called Sonic Roller Coaster Park, or did I make that up?
You made that up.
You made that up.
All right.
Roller Coaster Park?
Roller Coaster Tycoon?
Sonic Roller Coaster Park? Yeah, there was a Sims roller coaster game, but it wasn't Sonic with
There
an
wasn't
old
a Sonic one?
hammer and nails building roller coasters to ride with his friends.
I think you might be thinking of, I think, Sonic Adventure 2, where the Sonic levels, you were kind of on what seems like a roller coaster, and then you would play as Tails, and his levels were different, or he was in like a mech, but there's no roller coaster tycoon. No,
I swear I played like at Best Buy where you didn't collect rings, you collected city permits. But maybe I'm wrong.
Yes, you're wrong.
Hang on a second. Sonic the Hedgehog 360 VR movie roller coaster point of view. There might be something, but it's definitely not. You may have just accidentally guessed a lot of numbers.
There was a Sonic the Hedgehog roller coaster at Six Flags.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking. I think I'm probably thinking of that.
You're thinking of real life again because you don't know graphics. You just know real life, so you remember the real life roller coaster that Sonic the Hedgehog had.
Isn't it what? So all right. So if we're gonna talk the big guns in the video game world, it goes Mario, Sonic, Crash.
No.
Okay.
It goes without a doubt. It goes Fortnite, Call of Duty, everything else that's about murder. Maybe Mario, Zelda. Mario and Sonic are in the same now because Nintendo bought that shit. So now Sonic and Mario are together as friends, which is weird. It's kind of like Burger King and McDonald's being together at the same time. And then I would say Brendan, Greg, Harumi, Anthony, Ben, Crash, Bandicoot.
Can we?
No, but in all honesty, I know Fortnite and Call of Duty, they are the kings right now in first person shooters and fucking what do you call the other ones?
RPGs.
No, those. But what do you call Fortnite? A
Battle Royale.
A battle royal, yeah. But if you had to honestly rank the characters, most iconic characters, I do think Mario's top there. I don't know who's second.
I want to see. I'm looking up something. What?
Luigi.
I mean, I suppose Pac-Man. You know.
I'm so mad.
So just to give you a little bit of a heads up, Crash Bandicoot Super Mario Kart Racing Deluxe. So it's probably like the least famous.
Yes.
Sold about 24.7 million, whereas Crash Bandicoot Racing sold 1.9 million.
Yeah.
More underground.
Yeah. They always
Yes,
bury
it's something.
Activision, though. That's true.
Activision.
They do. That's what they say. And whenever Crash Team Racing starts, they go, Activision, a blast from the past. But for me, it's new. Anyway, can we do this the next episode, or we do like a video game tournament or something of characters?
Sure. Yeah, man, whatever the fuck that means, sure. Write it up, man.
Video game tournament?
Write it up and bring it. You want to play video games? You want to just did? Do you want to extend the segment that probably should have only been 2 minutes into a full hour? You can do that too.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, the last thing you said.
The last thing I said.
Well, yeah, about extending a 2 minute segment into an hour. So like we all kind of bring to the table our favorite video game characters, and we we kind of pin them against one another, and then Harumi as an impartial arbiter of truth will decide on our stuff.
Well, I would say this before you say that, even though you said that, so I'll say it after. This episode is coming out Tuesday next week. So if you can remember and come up with some things for next week's episode, for the third week episode or one of the Patreons, sure, I'm down. But it's a week away. I'd love to see you hold on to this for a week.
We're going to record it tomorrow, though, no?
No, because tomorrow is Monday's episode. But, I mean, we can do things out of order.
I see what you're saying, Greg.
Yeah. But I'm Solid Snake. So if you think Crash Bandicoot has any chance against Solid Snake, you're an idiot.
I do, because Solid Snake has a smoking habit, and he'll be dead in years.
Yes, years, yes.
While Crash, that guy, I mean, well, here's the thing. Crash does race more. Well, why are we doing this now? Save it for the episode, Anthony.
No, I want to be Gambit from the Sega Genesis X-Men game.
Man,
That's fine. You can do whatever you want.
I'm not picking him.
I want to be Chun-Li.
Of course
I'm not touching that.
Man, I just hope Chingy's manager listens to the rest of this episode and just goes, what the fuck was he just on?
Have you guys word he's coming back?
Yeah, he's coming back.
This guy's coming back. Here's the other thing, too. We can do both. You know what I mean? We can be these hard-hitting music journalists that we were just a half an hour ago and still, be these goofballs as well.
Yeah. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. I'm going to head out.
Me too.
All right.
I'm not going anywhere.